We have the people who fail and then quit. Right? We had the people who set the short-term goals, and once they hit the short-term goals and they fail, they drop out of there. Right? So these are the people who value the product over the process of what they're doing. They're so focused on the outcome and they're so focused on being successful and achieving that goal that they don't value the process of getting there. So anytime that they fail, they drop out. Anytime that they fail, they quit something. So these are the people who we don't want to be. Right? Then we have the people who succeed and then quit. And these are the people who become content with where they are. Right? They set the short-term goals, but there's nothing after the short-term goals. They say they want to go to college. They say they want to get their high school diploma. Once they get that diploma, and once they get into school, there's nothing beyond it. Like they set the goal and they get there and now they're comfortable because they're there. They achieved exactly what they said they wanted to achieve and now they're comfortable. Right? So these are the people who get accepted into school and then drop out. Right? These are the people who get the opportunity to play high school or college sports and then they drop out. Right? Because they're focused so much on the short term and not the long term. They have nothing after it. So we don't want to be the people who succeed and quit. We want to be the people who succeed and succeed and succeed and continuously win and build our legacies, right? We want to create dynasties. When we think about successful people, successful teams, and successful organizations, if I can get another show of hands, who are some people, some sports teams, and some organizations who we associate with success? Right? Anybody? Can I get some volunteers? Yeah?
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos, yeah. Who else? Teams, organizations. When we think about successful teams and successful organizations, who do we think about? Yep. The Patriots. Yep. Dynasty. Multiple Super Bowls. Yep. You again?
Amazon.
Amazon. Yep. Can I get one more? Yep. You, Eric?
San Antonio Spurs.
San Antonio Spurs. Yep. Greg Popovich. You go a dynasty there. Right? And these are the people who consistently win. Right? And by show of hands, who has heard of the New England Patriots? Right, there's almost everybody in the room. And I'm sure everybody in the room doesn't watch football. But because the New England Patriots are consistently successful each and every season, you know exactly who they are. Right, in order to cement our legacies, we have to continue to succeed, and we want to build dynasties, and we want to cement our legacy. And as I continue, I want you to realize that motivation is a feeling, but empowerment is a trait. Like you can become motivated after you watch a motivational video on YouTube. You can feel motivated after you read something on Instagram that inspires you. But how will you feel after you consume that thing? We need to stop chasing motivation and start chasing empowerment. Because when you are empowered, you are consistently motivated. And people find out that I'm a speaker and they come to me and they say, Jordan, can you motivate me? Like, can you empower me? Like, I need something. Right? And sometimes I entertain it, but sometimes I challenge them. And the number one question that I ask people when they ask me to motivate them is, why do you want to be motivated? And half the times, I get the people that say, I don't know, I just want to be motivated. I've been sitting down all day, I've been laying down all day, I just don't feel good, like, I just need to pick me up. Right? Then you have the people who actually give me an answer. So I ask, why do you want to be motivated? They say, I need to prepare for this exam. Right? I need to get through this homework, I'm tired. I have soccer practice, I have football practice today, I'm tired, I need something. Right, but my question to those people is, how will you feel after the exam? How will you feel after practice? How will you feel after the game? Will that feeling of motivation subside, or will it stay with you? Right, we need to stop chasing the feeling of motivation and start chasing the application of it. Like, what will you actually apply it to? Will you start going back to your unmotivated self after our motivation? After you watch that video, after you read that quote. We need to use motivation and use it a part of our daily lives. Right? Make it a trait. Empowerment is a trait. And I have this theory called microwave motivation. Right? And this is the type of motivation that I give to people on a daily basis when they ask them, when they ask me, can you motivate me, and things like that. Right? And when you put something in the microwave, you heat it up for about 2 minutes and it's piping hot, right? There's flames, smoke coming from it, it's bubbling over, like it's piping hot, and all it took was 2 minutes. Right? And it's the same type of way with people. Like I speak to people and they're instantly motivated. They're like, wow, Jordan, I really needed that. Like they felt really good. Right? And they're hyped up for the moment. But you take something out of the microwave and you let it sit on the table for 10 minutes, you come back and touch it, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be colder when you touch it than it was when you first put it in there. Right? But when you put something in the oven, you have that oven motivation. And you let it bake, you let the heat sit in there, you spend time with it. And as people, when we spend time figuring out who we are, and we increase our level of self-awareness, and we set those short-term goals, and we set those long-term goals, and we figure out who we really are, what we want to set out to accomplish each and every day, that's when we are consistently motivated. So start with this microwave motivation. Right? If you're going to watch a motivational video every day, I need you to watch it every single day so you can ingrain it. If you're going to read an inspirational quote on Instagram, I need you to practice it every single day and make it a part of your strategy and your routine. So none of this microwave motivation, we need this other motivation. Right? And we want to strive for long-term impact, not short-term feelings. Everybody repeat after me. Long-term impact.
Long-term impact.
Over short-term feelings.
Over short-term feelings.
Let me say it again. I didn't feel it. Long-term impact.
Long-term impact.
Over short-term feelings.
Over short-term feelings.
We have to stop curing our short-term feelings. What do you actually want 5 years from now? Have you really thought about that? And are the things that you're doing now going to put you in a position to get it? What do you want 10 years from now? Please, what do you want 10 days from now? Like, you just doing stuff based off of how you feel when you wake up? Like, what is the impact of the decision that you're making? All right, so when we strive for motivation, and we have this decision-making concept behind it, we have to strive for long-term impact, not short-term feelings. And by the end of this presentation, we should be able to at least answer, or start to think of answers, to 3 simple questions. Right, what drives you? What do you want? And then once you discover what you want, what do you do in order to get it? Right, so what drives you? When you put your feet on the floor every morning, are you inspired? What flips that switch for you? What ignites that flame inside of you? Right, and then what do you want? What do you think about each and every day? What are your wildest dreams? Right, I was talking with a friend I remember a couple weeks ago. She said, I can't see myself working a regular job. I'm like, that's beautiful. So if you can't see yourself doing it, then why are you being on the path to it? If you can't see yourself working a regular job, then I need you to go and get exactly what you want. Right, and I'm not just talking about long term, I'm talking about the day-to-day as well. Like, people claim that they live in their best life, but they don't even know what their best life looks like. Right, like, we say we live in our best life, but we don't even know what we want out of our lives. Like I said, we're just moving off of how we feel when we wake up. We're waking up whenever we want to. We're talking to whoever we want to. We're doing what we want because it feels good. Right, but what do you actually want? And then what do I do once I figure out what I want? What are the tangible things that I could do? What are the practical strategies that I can use to not only stay consistently motivated, but use that motivation to my advantage? Right, I want to start out with what drives you. I ask this question everywhere that I speak. And I think it's important to talk about an event that happened when I was in high school. I had an encounter with one of my teachers, and not only do I think it changed my entire life and my direction of where I wanted to go, but I think I would not be a speaker if it was not for this encounter. Right, so it's my junior year of high school. I have a digital arts class. Right, and in the class, at the end of the class, she assigned an overnight essay. So it's one of those assignments where you do it overnight, you submit it online, and then you come in the next day and you receive the grade back. And I'm thinking this is going to be an easy essay. Like, it's an art essay. Like, what could you possibly write in an art essay that's terrible, right? So I do the art essay, I do it overnight, I turn it in, and I come back the next morning. And about 10 minutes after I sat in the classroom, the teacher says, Jordan, I need to see you after class. And she comes right over to my desk. I'm working, minding my own business. She said, Jordan, I need to see you after class. And I'm thinking, dang, the essay was that bad? Like, it's an art essay. You got to see me after class over an essay and put me on blast in front of the entire classroom? He said, yep, I need to see you. So we wait until everybody leaves, and it's me and the teacher, and we're sitting, we're having a one-on-one conversation. And one of the first things that she says was, Jordan, that was one of the best essays I've ever read from any of my students. Right, she's been teaching 15 plus years, middle school level, high school level, read dozens of essays, even as an art teacher, and she said that's the best one she has ever read. And then the next thing that she said, I think, changed my entire perspective about education. She said, I know you're an A-B student. Like, just based off of the talent that you put into this essay, I know you get A's and B's. I know you have nothing to worry about. You got a bright future ahead of you. I keep getting A's and B's. And God, that hit me right there. Because that same day, I had to go home and look in the mirror and talk to the person who had C's and D's on his report. I had to talk to the person in the mirror that had a 2.4 GPA. With all of this talent, with all of this skill, in an essay that I probably didn't even take as seriously as I should have, and she said that's the best one that she ever read. And here I go with C's and D's on my report card. I had to look at myself and I had to say, Joel, what are you doing? Like, you have all of this talent, you have all of this potential, but you're not using it to the best of your ability. Right, so that inspired me. And as I started to think about that teacher who spoke life into me at that moment, I started to think about my parents who have groomed me to be the young man that I am today. Right, who gave me every resource that they could possibly give me. Right, who gave me all of the computers, who gave me all of the rods to practice, who gave me all of the instant motivation that I needed to get through my work. I thought about the pastor that poured life into me. I thought about all of the other teachers in my school who believed in me. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I realized that something needed to change. And I committed myself to achieving academic excellence for 60 days. And it's important to point out that this happened in my junior year of high school. So this was around November, the end of the second quarter in high school. I just got my report card and there it goes, C's and D's on my report card. The very next quarter, 60 days later, I will earn straight A's for the first time in my academic career. Complete turnaround in 60 days. Had a 2.4 GPA at the time. Had C's and D's on my report card. And I realized what drove me, and it inspired me to get straight A's for the first time. I had never done it before. In a matter of 60 days. I thought about my mother and how she was tired of seeing me and my brother get C's and D's for years. Brother got kicked out of the same high school that I attended. And that lived with me for a while. And that sparked me for a while. And every time I walked in the classroom, I thought about the people who poured into me. And I got straight A's. What drives you? What ignites that flame in you? What is that moment that you need? Maybe that moment is today. Maybe that moment is me speaking life into you and saying, what are you doing with your potential? You're at McDaniel College. A lot of people don't make it here. It costs $50K plus to go here. You got money to go here. And you're not taking advantage of the opportunity. Start seeing your obligations as opportunities to be successful. What drives you? And what drives you today, Jordan? Like that happened 2 years ago, but what allows you to keep going and keep going and keep going and consistently remind you? Well, there's three main things that drive me. My mission, my circle, and my circumstance. Guys, I created a mission for myself, a mission statement, and that statement is to honor a legacy of education and leadership development. And guys, that's just on the website. Like I can't run from it. Like www.jdspeaks.com, if you go on the website, that's one of the first things that pop up. Like I can't run from it. Like other people are seeing this, so how can I not live by it? I'm not keeping this a secret. I'm here talking to you. I have to uplift my standards, and I have to live to a certain standard in order to speak to people like this. To honor a legacy of education and leadership development, I am honoring the people who have paved the way for me to walk the path that I'm walking. That have allowed me to do what I'm doing. That have allowed me to get my education at a great school. Right, so what is your mission? Maybe you need to create a mission statement like I did, and I need you to live by it. Right, so I live by my mission. My circle is the 10 people that I talk to the most on a daily basis. Like, think about the people who you talk to within a week. The 10 people that you talk to the most within a week. I'm not talking about your friends, because maybe you haven't talked to your friends in a while, but I need you to be honest with yourself. Who are you talking to the most? Who are you consuming the most information from? Right, and are those people inspiring you to be the best you that you could possibly be? I have to look at my circle and be honest with myself and say my circle isn't on the same level as I am. My circle isn't trying to achieve the same things that I'm trying to achieve. And I'm not talking about a motivational speech. I'm talking about the way in which they live their lives. So when you share your goals with people, are they hating on you behind your back? Right, like, are they talking to you? Are they talking about you behind your back? Or are they living their life in a way that will inspire you to get what you need to get? Are they holding you back? Are they influencing you to do things that you don't want to do? Right, instead of the 10 people, now I just focus on like 5. Because I only talk to people, like 5 different people, like consistently throughout a week. Right, so your mission, your circle, and then your circumstance. I need you to look at your circumstance. And it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what ethnic background you're from. It doesn't matter what school you went to. You can find a way to use your circumstance to drive you. Right? Like if you're number one, right? If you're summa cum laude, if you graduated and you were the top of the class, had the highest GPA, there's no reason for you to go after it each and every day. Like there's no reason you shouldn't be doing it. Because you know you have people behind your back that's trying to take this spot. Like you on top. Like you got people behind you that would love to be in your situation, that would love to be an RA, that would love to be on a college football team, that would love to have a 4.0 GPA, that would love to have that internship that you're slacking in. Use your circumstance to your advantage. And if you're somebody that's in the 99th percentile, right? Say that you're at the bottom of the class right now. Say if you're not getting any playing time right now. Right? You have nowhere to go but up. Right? And for the majority of people in this room, you're very bright. Like you made it to McDaniel College. So if you made it from underprivileged, if you made it from a single-parent household, if you made it from a broken home, if you made it from somebody like me who had a 2.4 GPA, didn't know if I was even going to get into this school. Right? If you're somebody who didn't have the resources, or your school was many, many miles away, you had to walk or take the bus or wherever you came from. You made it here to McDaniel College, so you're already winning. Like, why would you not continue that momentum? Like, you made it from that, and now you're going to come here and slack off? Like, look at your circumstance. It doesn't matter if you're number one or number 991. I need you to go after it each and every day. First thing I challenge you to do, I spoke on this a little earlier, is to create your personal mission statement and actually fulfill the mission. And I need you to write it down. I don't need you to just think about it. I need you to write it down, and I need you to live by it. Right, and McDaniel kind of has their own mission. Who knows the honor code by heart? Because I sure don't. Right, so who knows by heart? Right, every classroom you walk into, it has the honor code on it. And the honor code isn't there just to look pretty. Right, it's for us to memorize it and to ingrain it and to live by it. Because every time we walk into the classroom, we have to look at that. It's like a business owner with their mission statement. When a business owner walks into the business and he sees that plaque on the wall and he sees that commitment on the wall, he lives by it every time he goes into work. And I'm not talking about goals. I'm not talking about short-term and long-term goals. I'm talking about a mission. A mission is bigger than you. You can't put a cap on a mission. You can put a cap on the goal and say either you completed it or you don't. But honoring a legacy of education and leadership development, you can't put a cap on that. That's something that you have to live. I am honoring the people who came before me, and I'm creating a legacy for those who will come after me. That's what I live by each and every day. And like I said, there's no cap on it. Right, but I know whether I failed at it or not by the way that I live my life every day. And you have to be honest with yourself. Are you fulfilling the mission for your life? Second thing I challenge you to do is to create 1 to 3 must-haves. Now, I'm not asking you to be Superman tomorrow. I'm not asking you to change 10 things about your life. I'm not asking you to gain all of these friends or to drop all of these friends. Like, it is a process. Right? I only expect but so much of you at this point. Right? I was able to go from season D's to straight A's in less than 60 days, but maybe you're not able to make that same transformation. Maybe you're able to make the same transformation in a quicker time than I did. Everybody's different. Everybody has a process. But what I challenge you to do is create 1 to 3 must-haves. Because see, with the individuals in this generation, too many things are negotiable. Like, we're so gullible as a generation. Like, somebody can talk you into doing something that you might not want to do. Like, somebody can talk you into being somebody that you don't want to be. Like, somebody can talk you into things that you don't want to be a part of. Like, stop letting people talk you into certain stuff. Like, you have a vision. You waking up every single day, you say, I want to be a surgeon. I want to be a lawyer. And then every other day, your friends ask you to smoke a blunt when you should be studying on your craft. For real. Like, I'm being like, y'all laughing, but y'all laughing because y'all know that I'm serious.
Yes.
Like 1 to 3 must-haves. Jordan, what are your must-haves? I will not smoke and I will not drink while I'm here. And that's just me. I'm not saying you have to live to that same standard, but for me, I won't smoke and I won't drink. Right? Like, the long-term benefits aren't worth it. The short-term benefits definitely aren't worth it. Like, it changes my mindset. Right, like it costs, so why would I add it to my life? Right, and it's not something that's going to benefit me in the long run. So there's a 100% chance that I won't do it. And you can try to talk me into it, it's not going to happen. I need you to be stern about some things. Like, if you want to get your body right, like, stop eating brownies at Guar. Like, I need you to do something. Like, have 1 to 3 must-haves. You know I'm serious. 1 to 3 must-haves. Another must-have that I have is that I get my exercise in every day. I go to the gym about 5 times a week, and even the days that I don't hit the gym, I still get my exercise in. I wake up at 6:15 every morning, I do my yoga, I do my 50 push-ups, I do my 100 sit-ups. That's my exercise, even if I don't go to the gym. And that's added on the days that I do go. So if I don't get the opportunity to go, it is still built into my strategy. It is something that I must have. Nobody's going to talk me into not going to the gym. Nobody's going to talk me into not taking care of my body. What would your must-haves be? Maybe your must-have is to go to every single class. You can't talk me into skipping class. I'm trying to get this 3.5, I'm trying to get this 4.0, I'm trying to get this internship, I'm trying to get this degree. That's a must-have. Right? Maybe your relationships are a must-have. Like the circle that I have now, you will not penetrate it. Like, I don't need any more friends, I don't need any more people hitting up my phone. Like, the core that I currently have, that's my core, that's what I'm rocking with. Maybe that's your must-have. Maybe your must-haves are like my must-haves. I won't put anything into my body that will hurt me in the long run. 1 to 3 must-haves, and stick to your vision. And if you don't know what you want, right? We're talking a lot about goal setting. We're talking a lot about mission and vision and legacy and impact and all of these things. But what if you're somebody who doesn't know what you want to major in yet? Right? What if you're somebody who doesn't know what they want to do in their future? Right? Maybe you might be somebody who doesn't know what they want out of the relationships that they have with you. You don't know where to start as far as taking care of your body. Right? I want you to give 110% in everything that you're a part of right now. If you don't know, you better be pressed to find it. There should be a sense of urgency to be like, yo, I need to find my passion. I need to find the thing that I'm talented in. And a lot of times we don't find it because we're nonchalant about everything. Oh, Jordan, how was school? Oh, it was cool for real. How was the food in Guam? Oh, it was alright, it was cool for real. Well, how was practice? How was the game? It was alright. Y'all got a little bit of time. And we're nonchalant like this about everything, and I don't understand why so many students, so many kids in this generation are being nonchalant about their lives. Like, this is your everyday life. I need you to be serious about something. Like, be passionate about something. You ask me about speaking, my face lights up. Jordan, when your next presentation? Yo, I'm talking to the Boys and Girls Club. We just sent the email today. Like, I'm putting out a YouTube video tomorrow. Like, my Instagram is popping. I just got 10 followers today. Like, I'm hype about it. You ask me about my science class, I might not be that hype. Right? Like, you ask me about my physics class last year, like, I'm not hype about that. Right? But I have the things that I'm hype about. I have the things that I'm passionate about. You ask me any question about fitness, I guarantee you I'll be able to help. And I'm not a kinesiology major, so don't even go there. I'm a business major. And I care so much about my body, I'm passionate about it, I can tell you about it. I need you to be serious about something. I need you to find your passion. Right? And it goes back to another story. When I was a senior in high school, I had a financial planning class. Right? And like any class, you have PowerPoint presentations. Of course, that was my thing in high school, if you hadn't figured out already. Right? I had a PowerPoint presentation, and I think it's important to detail that this was the first month of school. First month. I never had this teacher before, never had this professor before, only seen her face a couple of times just throughout the school. Right? So it's the first month, we had this presentation. Of course, I'm the first one to volunteer to go up. Right, so I do my presentation, I absolutely kill it. Like, people was clapping, people standing up. Like, I think they ended class early that day because ain't nobody want to go. Right, in the same situation. I didn't go to the teacher came to me. And after class, after everybody left out, she said, Joe, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, sure. She said, this is Miss White's voice. Would you like to be a part of FBLA? And it's a little voice, right? And the first question I asked her was, what does FBLA stand for? Because I had no clue what it was. She said, Jordan, this stands for Future Business Leaders of America. I said, that sounds important, sign me up. Right, so after the class, we get the papers out. I circle public speaking as my competitive event. And FBLA stands for Future Business Leaders of America, like I said, and there's an organization that allows students to compete in business-themed events in a conference setting. Right, so the regional conference was about 2 months after I signed up for it. And we go to this conference, it's at a high school, right, as you get to the upper levels, they have it at hotels and things like that. But I'm suited and booted, I got the suit on, I got the glasses on, like I'm about to go speak for 5 minutes about one of the FBLA goals and how they pertain to leadership. Right, like, and I spent all this time preparing, I spent all this time studying, I spent all this time sitting in my room, talking to myself, like I'm ready for the presentation. At the regional conference, I placed 3rd in the region in public speaking too. Right, then I was eligible for the state conference. And I was lucky enough to place 3rd because only the top 3 in each region go on to the state level competition. So I go from the regional competition to the state competition. I tear my speech up from the last one because I didn't feel confident in it. I write a totally new speech from scratch. At the state conference, I placed 1st in the state of Maryland in public speaking too. Out of the 100 best speakers in Maryland, placed 1st in the state of Maryland in public speaking too. Then I was eligible for the National Leadership Conference in Anaheim, California in the summer after my senior year. So I fly out to California, had an amazing time, and I placed 7th in the country in public speaking too. Again, just my 1st year in the program. I had no clue what FBLA was. I had no clue what FBLA was a couple months prior. And I get the opportunity to speak at the national level in California. 7th in the country. Top 200 public speakers in the entire country, I placed 7th my 1st year going. This all came from a PowerPoint presentation class. Now just imagine if I slacked off that class. Imagine if I didn't raise my hand first and be like, I'll go up and say. Imagine if I was nonchalant about it. I didn't take it seriously. And I stood up here, and I turned my back, and I read from the slides, and I didn't care about it. I was nonchalant about it. I gave that presentation everything that I had. And I went from PowerPoint presentation to national speaker. Same thing when I spoke at the PBS National Educational Telecommunications Convention. One of my teachers seen me do a PowerPoint presentation in the library. She's Google certified, travels the country. She said, Jordan, I need you to speak at this conference. I'm like, let's do it. 16 years old. Speaking to educators around the country about how to use technology in school. All from PowerPoint presentations. Like, for an average student, you're not guaranteed that opportunity for a PowerPoint presentation. You're maybe guaranteed a B. Like, that's what you get out of PowerPoint. Like, you get an A or a B. You don't get the opportunity to speak at a conference. But it is the level of intensity. It is the commitment, the effort, and energy that I put into it that allowed me to get the opportunity. And like I said earlier, stop seeing stuff in your life as obligations and use it as an opportunity to be successful. Another student would have easily used that as an obligation and just skated through it. Stop skating through life and find out what you want. Stop skating through your everyday life and figure out what you're gifted at. Use your skill. Use your talent. And if you don't know what it is, you should be urgent to figure it out. You should be urgent in everything you do. You should be pressing every class to be like, yo, I need to find it. I need to find what I'm gifted at. I need to find my purpose. I want to talk about commitment. What are you willing to give up? Right, I'm no longer on the football team here at McDaniel College. And people ask me, Jordan, why'd you quit the football team? I said, easy, I want to be the #1 motivational speaker in the world. The current #1 motivational speaker started when he was 18. I started when I was 16. Like, let's go. Let's get it. Right? And you can only be so committed to something until you have to give up something. Like, what are you willing to give up in order to add something? Like, you talk to the 7th ranked college football player in the country, he's eating, he's sleeping, and he's breathing football. So why would I not eat, sleep, and breathe my passion in what I do? And a wise mentor once told me, he said, nobody's getting the real you. Like, nobody's getting the 100% you because you're connected to a million things. You got the internship, you're an RA, you're on the dean's list, you're trying to do this, you're in this organization, you're on the football team, you're trying to speak. Like, I need you to be specific and focus on something. Today, I don't need you to focus on a million things. I don't need you to lose weight and drop all your friends and get straight A all at the same time. I just need you to focus on one thing at a time and use that process and replicate it. You need to master a process. Guys, I do this every single day. I talk in my room every single day. I'm up to 2 a.m., 3 a.m. writing speeches every single day. I'm sending emails every single day, on top of my schoolwork, on top of being an RA, on top of being a part of organization, on top of my internship. Right? But this is my main. Nobody can take me away from this. And what I need you to do today is I need you to commit to something. If it's your major, right? If it's your relationship, like this is what I want to focus on. If it's your passion, if you already found it, I need you to commit to it and be willing to drop something. And I have Serena up here because a Nike commercial just came out a couple weeks ago. Right? And in the Nike commercial, Serena, she's about 7 or 8 years old. She's about yay high. And she's with her father on the tennis court. Her father is bouncing the ball. Serena has the racket in the ball and she's ready to hit it. She has the racket in her hand. And her father says, "This is you at Wimbledon." And he throws the ball up for her. And little Serena, she goes to hit it, and there's a cut scene, and it cuts to her actually hitting it at Wimbledon. Like it went from little Serena to like she's actually doing it. And the transition was because of the level of commitment that she put into it. Like all throughout the commercial, all you seen was her playing tennis. Like you didn't see her playing basketball, you didn't see her singing a song, you didn't see her hanging out with her friends. You seen every single shot of Serena, it was her playing tennis. Because she was committed to it. And her father spoke it into existence, and she did it every single day, and guess what? She got it. So why would you not do you every single day? If you really want to change, you need to devote a certain level of effort and energy to your passion every single day. Because if not, somebody will take your spot. Right? And I need you to put a ring on it. Like Beyonce said it best. She said, if you like it, put a ring on it. Like she said, if you really want something, you're going to have to put a ring on it. Right? And when we think about commitment, we think about marriage. And the thing about marriage is you buy a ring for your significant other because it is a visual representation of commitment. And if there's no ring, if there's no visual representation of commitment, somebody can take that person from you. Right, so say if you have a boyfriend and girlfriend, and you buy them a promise rings, right? Because that was the thing for a little bit. The promise rings for your boyfriend and girlfriend. And they dress up for the party, and they go out to the party. I mean, they looking good. And they don't have a promise ring on, and that person isn't disciplined, it's over. Like you lost. Like you lost. Because there's no visual representation of the commitment. Same thing as somebody's married. When you ask somebody, are they married, and they say yes, you kind of subconsciously look down at their hand and see if their ring is on. And what I need you to do is self-consciously look at your life and say, what do I have over here? Where is my visual representation of commitment? So if you need to create a vision board for yourself, if you need to put up the plaque of what you really want to accomplish. Like on my desk, I have sticky notes all around the desk of people who have inspired me, of people who have empowered me, of people who have invested in me. And my job every day is to make a return on their investment. And I'm consistently reminded of my mission and what I want to do because it's visual, it's tangible. I can see it. I actually watch videos from the #1 motivational speaker in the world. I do my homework, I study. I have a light box that sits on top of my desk and it says dream. And every time I hit the switch on the light box, the word dream lights up. Right? And I only do it when I sit at my desk and I do my work. Because that's my commitment to my dream. Every time I sit down on the computer and I'm making PowerPoint presentations or I'm writing an essay, I'm constantly reminded by the sticky notes, the word dream. I have my state leadership conference first place plaque, and I have collage of my family. All of the things that remind me of my mission. Today you need to make it visual. You need to stop playing around with it and stop thinking about it, and I need you to make it tangible. I need you to create that list. I need you to make sticky notes. I need you to make it visual and tangible so you can see it, you can feel it, and you can get it. All right, so make that visual representation of the commitment. Last but not least, don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. Everybody repeat after me. Don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
Treat.
Treat.
Don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
Treat.
Treat.
You need to stop cheating yourself. And I got this from health expert Sean Stevenson. He was talking on a podcast and he says when people talk about dieting and exercise, they refer to it as a cheat meal. Right? You're cheating the diet. You're going back to the things that you used to eat. Right? And instead of treating it as a cheat meal, you need to treat it as a treat meal. Which means that you actually need to earn the thing that you want. Right? So we go into parties and we got a 1.7. Right? We go into party. We just failed the exam on Friday morning. Friday night we're going out to celebrate. Like, what are you actually celebrating? Like, all you're doing is cheating yourself. And it's the same thing with food. Like, we've been disciplined all week, and they say, man, I deserve this ice cream. You ate one string of string beans. You talking about some ice cream. You went to the gym one time to show off your leggings, and you said, I'm going to put Like, for real. Like, don't cheat yourself, because the only person you're cheating is you. And the beautiful thing about exercise and the beautiful thing about fitness is that it shows. You can't lie about it. You can't say you lost 15 pounds and it don't look like you lost 15 pounds. Or you can't say you go to the gym every day and it looks like you don't go to the gym every day. Like, people are going to know you lying. They're going to call you out. And it's the same thing in life. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. Eventually, all of your cheating is going to catch up to you. Eventually, all of your cheat meals are going to catch up to you. So I need you to start earning stuff. Don't go to a party until you earn a B in something. Don't hang out with your friends until you earn an A on that exam that you've been dreading the whole week. I need you to start earning some stuff and stop practicing that feeling of entitlement. We're so entitled. Like, we haven't earned anything. Guys, I'm pretty much done. We have some takeaways. First takeaway is to figure out what drives you. When you put your feet on the floor, what do you set out to do? What ignites that flame in you? Right, find out what you want and ingrain it. I need you to consume it each and every day. If you're going to use the motivational videos, if you're going to read the motivational quotes, it needs to be practical. It needs to be a strategy. I need you to ingrain it every single day. Don't do it because you feel like it. Do it because you need it. Right? Strategize and prioritize. What are you willing to add and what are you willing to give up? If you really want something, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. If you really want to be the best in the world at what you do, if you want to beat out the thousands of people who are majoring in the exact same thing as you are, who are taking the exact same classes that you are. Guys, we in a bubble. It's 3,000 people here. There's 30,000 people at Maryland. There's over 15,000 people at Towson. And you want to play here because there's 3,000 people? There's millions of people trying to do the exact same thing you're doing. God, there's 11-year-olds that's going to schools and speaking. And you don't think I'm going to give it everything I have? Like, people can pay millions to travel the road and do what I do. You don't think I'm going to take advantage of that? So strategize and prioritize. Create a strategy. See, every day I'm going to do this at this time. Every day I'm going to wake up at this time, whether I feel like it or not. And then I want you to start treating yourself and not cheating yourself. Guys, there are 100 days until 2019. How will you treat those 100 days? Will you go into next year with momentum? Will you go into next year claiming victory? Or will you go into next year being a victim? Right? How will you treat these 100 days? I need you to think about it. I really want you to use the things that I talked about today. Use them every single day. Create that strategy. Make it visual. And really, I want you to live your best life. Whatever that is for you, whatever you want to accomplish, I need you to really go out and live it. And that's how you stay consistently motivated. My name is Jordan Davis. Thank you guys for your time.